Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. And in the last episode, guys, we're starting to get on our feet here at our new location, the Spindle, and all in all, it's been going pretty well. We've unlocked all the locations down here. We also have started to unlock stuff here in the middle area of the Spindle core, and found a new potential hire for a job, which is great. And then we also have this area called the Pinnacle Docks we need to work through. So definitely some progress. And thanks to Bliss, we now have a repair bay here in the rig that will allow us to fix any of these broken dice, which is great. But let's go ahead and focus most of our dice now on unlocking the rest of the stuff here. So let's head here to Nimbus Kitchen. Let's do a shift to help out. 100% positive. Yes. Nemba's, you get into a good flow, taking care to follow Nemba's barked orders, and at the end of the shift, tired and satisfied, you eat your fill. I think we may go ahead and leave this for right now. Just come here when we need to eat, and we'll eventually just unlock that via attrition. Head back here to the Spindle core, and let's continue exploring the core. Unlock some more things. Spindle Trade Hall, a chaotic market hall. Buy fuel, fill fuel, fill supplies, buy supplies. Great, we needed that. Especially if we're going to start doing contract work. Keep it going. And there we are. The far Spindle lives up to its name, its tall stature making it a real effort to travel from end to end. The local solution to this problem are the transit tunnels, massive tubes bolted onto the outside of the Spindle that allow for rapid passage from bottom to top. As you find yourself in one of these cavernous passages, bulky cargo haulers rushing by, you start to wonder if braving them is worth the effort. Back up! A shout rattles down the bare transit corridor like a gunshot and is rapidly followed by a crunching impact. You spin back, pushing yourself against the side of the wide cylindrical passage. As you do, a hauler glides past, sending a rippling wave of air across you in its wake. When the roar subsides, you hear a string of expletives coming from nearby. A spiky-looking figure, clutching some oddly shaped open-framed object, gestures wildly at the vehicle as it glides away. Dickhead! She spits an impressive glob of saliva down the tunnel, and it spirals in 0G. She turns to you in her anger. You see that? Tried to slam me into a wall. I didn't. She frowns. Well, whatever. She sniffs and looks you up and down. Not supposed to be in the transit system without a vehicle. She squints. Not like I care, but maybe you do? Right. Sorry. Like I said, don't care. She rolls one of her shoulders, stretching it out. You're new here, right? Is that obvious? She shrugs sympathetically. Nothing to be ashamed of. Let me give you a tip. She begins checking her open-frame vehicle, tightening bolts and untangling pipes. Avoid the haulers. Dickheads, the lot of them. Especially the water haulers. They think they're better than everyone. Don't mess with the Steve Towers, though. They're good people. Get treated like shit by everyone else. Just like us. She rapidly plugs and unplugs a series of connectors. They'll show you the shortcuts. Like spiky airbag courier. She looks up. And never, ever get in a Spindlejack's way. She smiles, spinning the vehicle in her hand. Spindlejack. She thumps her chest. You're looking at one. She pauses, considering something. Then suddenly, she reaches into one of her many pockets and pulls out a small, transparent rectangle punched with holes. Text glints within it, reading, Kadet, Stripline Express. You take it. Oh my god, it even has a watermark. Kadet. She flexes proudly. That's me. Stripline is my outfit. Kamal's the dispatcher. Small outfit, but we punch above our weight. Dispatch is here in the Spindle's core, but I run the transit tunnels up and down the Spindle 10 times a cycle. You need anything moving on the Spindle? Data, tech, messages? Too hot for the hardline? You come find me. You're a courier? Got it in one. She kicks off the wall and mounts her bike, triggering a small burst of compressed air to keep herself steady in the transit passage. You hear a buzz of distorted speech from what you assume is her dispatcher. Kadet angles her head into her communicator and mutters back into it. Got a hop, sleeper. She looks over at you, and something flickers in her eyes. An idea? Or perhaps just a realization. You might be able to help me with something. A package that's been bothering me. She squints down the passage. Come to the office at Stripline in a few cycles, and I'll show you. Sure. We'll call it a favor on account of me saving you from being flattened by a hauler. She winks. Now, you better get out of here before another hauler tries to squish you. You step back as she twists the handlebars and a burst of air sends her flying down the transit corridor at an unsettling speed. You watch her go, slightly caught off guard by her final remarks. What would a courier need you for? You turn the idea over in your head as you find a way out of the transit corridor, back to the safety of the main concourse. Okay, new location. The Stripline Express, a grungy air bike courier. So we gotta wait 2 turns, or 2 cycles, to find out what we're gonna be doing there. So here at the Pinnacle Docks, we can interface. And is this... okay, it's risky. We can give that a shot. Cozy up to this terminal. Man, I hate having to use the 50% negative, but at least it's just risky, not dangerous. And a new location. You spend a long time digging through the incoming and outgoing ships, but you can't understand any of the slang. As you glide through the Pinnacle Docks, you hear shouting echoing down a corridor. You tentatively change direction, your eyes fixed ahead as the passage widens out into a large bay. Others rush past you, heading toward the commotion. Your eyes are drawn by the bay's vast viewing windows, which is currently being splattered with glittering shards of ice. In front of it, a dock worker is shouting to anyone who will listen. Yo, Spaces! Workers for the fast Spindle! We need your urgent assistance! The water carrier Springtide has suffered heavy damage in its transit from Wellspring. He takes a breath. All able hands, we need you to secure the cargo. Without this water, Far Spindle will struggle to support you. He looks desperately at the crowd. Please, any who are able to help, please make yourself known. Behind him, a corona of ice ejects from one of the tanks, drawing a pale halo around the ship. A handful of experienced-looking spacers push through the crowd toward the front, and dock workers start to direct them to nearby bridges. You watch the scene unfold, hesitant in the face of making someone else's problem your own. But that is opportunity, right? The Springtide. Repair the leaks. Oh, it's all interface stuff, too. Oof. Okay. Reroute the flow. Okay, so this is kind of... it's a cycle clock. Well, crap. Kind of wish that we had waited, because we are out of dice right now. So we have got to go ahead and crash out. Interesting. Well, we'll get some food. Uh-oh. You jerk, suddenly awake. Another alarm? A fragment is lodged in your mind. A shard of sound, of signal, a tone. It resonates like tetanus, obviously internal, inescapable, or tinnitus. You look down to see your hands blurred, your fingers dancing as if they were typing. Settle? Your fingers flap like caught birds. Take control. It takes all your focus to settle them. You force yourself back into them, a sensation like squeezing on a pair of tight gloves. You flex your hands a little to feel them, test them. What was that? You take a deep breath to calm yourself, but as you do, you're reminded that you don't need to breathe. It's this claustrophobic sensation that you cannot shake. You get up, push off the wall, pull on your clothes. Anything to escape the dreams that hover there at the back of your mind. Seraphin drifts in casually, heading to his bunk to grab something. You can't shake the strange sensation that he's just drifted into your mind. He shoots you a glance. I said, "Are you okay?" He gives you a concerned look. You look terrible. Not really. You mumble a response. You need to talk to me, Sleeper. Seraphin gives you a look. He sighs. I know something happened, back when we were leaving Hexport. What do you mean? I saw it, Sleeper. Saw something change in your eyes. He pauses, looking for the right way to explain. They were cold. Fixed. I'd never seen that before. He looks away. Back when we first met, I knew at once you were human. I knew because of your eyes. I'd never met a sleeper before, but I knew immediately that you were no machine. It was obvious. But then, on the rig, he shivers. I couldn't see that anymore. I don't know what happened. What did it feel like? He gives you a curious look. Try to identify it, why not? You close your eyes and recall the moment. You remember Lane's voice, the rig hot and close, the numbness, and then you see it glittering in the non-space of your mind, thin and bright like spider silk, a thread. Sleeper? Seraphin's voice interrupts your thoughts. You open your eyes to his irritated face. Are you even listening? We need to get you checked up. We need to know what's happening. Seraphin gives you a stubborn stare. This isn't just about you. But where? I've been asking around. Seraphin's face is set with determination now. There's another station near this one. Flotsam. It's a mess. An accumulation of wrecks and docked ships, but also houses some of the best, I've never been able to pronounce that word. Yeah, in the wash. We should go there as soon as the rig is ready. I'll think about it. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for me. Seraphin shakes his head. Please. Look, I know I don't know what it's like to be a sleeper. I understand there are things you can't tell me, you can't show me, but I do know how fear can keep you from doing what you need to do. I'm not going to nag you about it, but it needs to be done. He passes by you as he leaves the bunks, squeezing your shoulder as he does, leaving you to your thoughts. You finish getting dressed, feeling your body, its strangeness, even though you wish you didn't. At the very least, you think, you need to find someone who can stop you falling apart. Maybe Flotsam is not such a bad idea. You push the thought to the back of your mind. There's a cycle ahead, and the rig isn't ready. When it is, then you'll see. Okay, we are getting all of the quests. Let's go ahead and get ourselves some breakfast. Probably gonna drop some plates. Hey, okay, cool. How many more days do we have before? Okay, we can probably pull that off and get that done. So, let's see if there's anything that we can do to reroute this flow and stop this from happening. You manage to get some of the tanks connected to the far spindle itself and start to pump the water out of its reservoirs. 50% negative. No risk it, no biscuit, right? Saving Springtide. Cool. Keep it going. Okay, we just lost energy. You struggle with the ornate systems of the ship, but the security countermeasures keep you from rerouting. One more time. Let's get halfway. Crap. And that was a quick day. We are out of options. And we almost have the rig repaired, so that's good. Okay, and this is the brief respite. Let's end the cycle. I would really like to try and save this place before it goes bad. Wow, we are getting crap on our dice rolls. Sleeper. Kadet drifts from the shadows outside Bliss's Bay, looking around nervously as she approaches. Seems like I'm going to need to call in that favor. Her face is pale and deathly serious. Are you okay? She doesn't seem to hear you, distracted by a group of spacers gliding noisily down the passage behind her. She waits until they pass. Someone hit Stripline. No idea where Kamal is. Bunch of goons tearing the place apart as we speak. She screws up her face in pain. Even tried to grab me, but those muscle heads are slow. Wait, who would attack a courier? No idea. She shakes her head. These were typical Rena thugs. Could have been anyone anyone with chits to burn. Remember that package I asked for your help with? The one that was bothering me? I remember you mentioning it. I reckon it's got something to do with it. The job was a bust, an express run all the way to the underhang. But when I got there, no one home. She's whispering now, leaning closer. Place was smashed up, like someone got there first. Should have dumped the package and run, but I brought it back like a good girl. Stashed it in a safe spot at Stripline. Thought the sender might come to recover it, and when they didn't, well, I got curious and popped it open. She shakes her head. Stupid thing to do. Inside was a drive encrypted to hell and back. When I ran into you, well, I heard sleepers are good with data, with tech, so I thought you might be able to take a look at it. She shrugs. Now Stripline's trash too. Here's the thing. She glances around. Back when I popped it open, I noticed the drive had a dispatch marker. Hexport. Could it be connected to Hexport getting atomized? Yeah, that's where I'm at too. This thing was sent out from there just before it got cooked. Ooh, could be the black box. She pauses, and with that kind of attention, with the kind of attention I've been getting the past couple of cycles, she slips a hand terminal from her bag, taps a couple of times, and then holds it up to you. Kadet stares out at you from the screen, straight-faced and pale. Beside her picture, you see in block capitals, Spindle Jack KD754, in breach of FAR Spindle codes B12 and F34. Reward for information leading to capture, considered dangerous. Dickheads blasted it out on the transit channels. Every Spindle Jack hauler and freight carrier is going to be watching for me. She pulls back the hand terminal angrily, stuffing it away in her bag. Something's going on. Anyone who can help? She looks away. Spindlejacks don't make friends easily, and now all the couriers I do know are looking to turn me in for a payout. She snaps her head to the side, her eyes flashing with anger. Why do you think I'm here? It's time for that favor, Sleeper. She meets your eye. My connections are burned. Hell, my whole career is gone. I need to fight back. If I walk away, there's nothing to walk away to. She softens a little. I need your help. What can I do? I need you to get the drive. She takes a breath. If they want it that much, then I can use it to buy my way out of this shit show. And I tucked it away somewhere safe, so my guess is they haven't got to it yet. You just slip in. I'll give you the location, and you pull the thing out. She folds her arms. Should be simple. None of this is simple. Just snatch it and go. Don't overthink it. Look, this thing turns out to be worth something, you'll get your due. All I want is my life back. The drive's in the workshop. There's a loose panel behind the air bike rack. She leans in. It's taped to the back of the fuse box inside. I've got to keep heading down Spindle to the overhang, past the end of the transit tunnels. No one will rat me out there. She glances around. I'll come find you when it's done. I've still got some network access. I'll know when you go in. She winks, offering no further explanation. My bike's locked up nearby. I'm gonna hop. Do me this favor. Then we're clear. Stay safe. Doing my best, Sleeper. She gives you a mock salute. She slips back into the shadows, and a few moments later, you hear the percussive pulse of an air bike accelerating away. You know at least what it's like to be on the run, to flee your life, and in that, you feel an empathy, a connection with Kadet. But from every other angle, this looks like bad news, the kind a sensible person would steer well clear from. And perhaps you would steer well clear if it wasn't for one detail that's stuck in your mind. The drive is from Hexport. Is that enough to send you down to the strip line in search of that drive? Only time will tell. As you drift lazily down to the ship's mess, you hear raised voices. You still yourself for a moment at the entrance and then slip inside. Good lord, so much is happening. Seraphin sits, hooked onto his usual stool, his slate glowing beside him. He's shaking his head as you enter. Bliss, meanwhile, is floating freely and gesticulating sharply as they explain something important. I don't see why not. Bliss chops at the air. It's not like you have an alternative. We can get the cryo. It'll take time, but we can get it. That was the deal. Seraphin speaks calmly, trying to placate Bliss. Sleeper. Bliss spots you entering, and they turn to Seraphin. Let's see what Sleeper thinks about it. About what? They both fall silent for a moment, and Seraphin sighs. The rig's ready, Sleeper. Bliss gestures around the mess. I fixed it. Hell, I've improved it. She's purring thanks to me. Now, wouldn't you say, having done such an incredible job, I deserve to be paid properly for my work? A calculated look crosses their face. A refit and retune of this would typically cost my clients hundreds of cryo, even if I was feeling charitable. Seraphin knows where this is going. See, I could make you pay, and maybe you even scrape the cryo up, but not without taking a contract and taking the ship off station, leaving me in the lurch. We wouldn't do that. Seraphin starts, but Bliss holds up a hand to shush him. So, I have a proposition. One that clears the debt completely. They pause. I'll turn around the open sign of this little bay of mine and join up with you. You keep me in work, give me my split, and give me transit to wherever you're headed. I'll even keep this rig of yours working for free. They shrug. What could be better than that? Us paying and being on our way, with no hangers on. Seraphin folds his arms and looks at you. Tell them, Sleeper. I mean, we do need an engineer. Because I think about me as like captain, and then her as engineer with Seraphin as the muscle. Actually, we could use their help. Bliss grins at Seraphin. See? Sleeper gets it. You can use my help. I'm an excellent engineer, a tidy shipmate, and a half-decent chef. I'm done with Far Spindle. I'm done taking not enough jobs for not enough cryo on a station where I know nobody. They pause, satisfied. You're welcome. Seraphin holds up his hands. Look, we appreciate it, but we're on the run, Bliss. Trust me, you are better off here. He gives them a serious look. Even telling you this could put you in danger. Bliss pauses, and then they start laughing. On the run? They shake their heads, smiling. You expect me to be scared off by that goofy shit? It's true. Bliss just shrugs. This system is at war, and the belt is spiraling into a crisis. Everyone's got something. I know you were at Hexport. Seraphim looks at them open-mouthed, searching for a retort. What happened there? Who's to say it won't happen here? I'm not sitting around watching this all play out any longer. They take a deep breath. Something has to give. Bliss turns to Seraphim. Look, you've done your due diligence or whatever. You're on the run. I've been warned. I accept the risks. That's it. At the end of the day, your ship is clamped into my bay. So unless you know my encryption protocols, there's not much left to discuss. Seraphim shakes his head, a small smile crossing his face. They've got us there. He looks at you, and then at Bliss. Looks like we've gained a crewmate. He unhooks from his stool. But I'm moving to the engine room. And he drifts off toward the bunks to gather his things. You and Bliss exchange a nervous look. Sleeper, welcome aboard. Bliss smiles and gives you a half-hearted mock salute. You leave Bliss in the galley and head for the cockpit. The rig is ready to fly again, but the question is, where to take her next? Seraphim mentioned Flotsam, a short Starward journey from here, as a busy station where you might find a technician to help diagnose your glitches and errors. Sunward, meanwhile, is the Helion Gate, an abandoned and uninhabited megastructure left over from the Solheim days. Maybe good for salvage, but not an easy place to survive. And beyond that, well, as they say, the belt is wide, and at least now you have a functioning ship. New ship crew available. You have unlocked the belt map. Go to the map and press the belt button to travel to other hubs and discover new parts of the Starward belt. Let's see what it looks like. Can we zoom out and actually see the belt? Ooh. Dark side. Okay, that is the bad spot. Impassable hazard. Helion Gate, Holmes Rock, Flotsam. So we have to get through asteroid fields and such. Oh, there's more. Wellspring? And it is literally a belt. I appreciate that. Green belt. Ooh. Okay, I'll wait. I just saw the green belt and it reminded me of the first game. Oh, now we can have our fuel up to 10. So that just increased the range of our ship. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's go ahead and throw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd have to roll well on everything. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and throw a high dice into earning a meal. Got to impress Nemba. And we still have one more day. I mean, we can still pull this off, I'm thinking. This is doable. But we also have what's going on at the Stripline Express. Cut your way in. Ooh, so many options, so many things to do. I mean, the good news is due to the fact that we can, since we can cut our way in, like even, like our worst dice is still a 50-50 neutral or bad. And no glitches, so let's try and do this. We've got a little bit of time, halfway before the leak makes that horrible. Let's see if we can at least get half of this done. Unfortunate. Again. Ooh, very unfortunate. So what we do there is we go ahead and spend some money, buy some kelp cakes to counteract that nonsense. And we try one more time to reroute that flow. Alright, well that was a bad day dice-wise, but we have kind of our battle plan. We've got to keep the spring tide from going bad. We've got to get the... We also have the guy over here. Man, we've got so many options. That's so cool. And then we have whatever this brief respite is. So I think our safety net is fast approaching the end. So we got to see how much we can actually pull off before it gets too bad. But this is a good place to go ahead and call it, guys. We'll see what happens in the next episode. Hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. That'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.